Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Kartik, one of the co-founders of ETHGlobal, and I'm super excited to welcome all of you to HackMoney 2026. This is our first event of this year, and all of you are watching this on ethglobal.tv. To all of you who are familiar with this platform, welcome back. For everybody else joining us for the first time, this is what we're going to be using for all of our events here, and this is kind of how you get to understand what's happening with this whole hackathon, given this is async and everywhere. And also, this is an interactive platform, so you can talk to us. We are monitoring this thing live. If you ask a question, I'll be able to see it and I'll respond almost immediately. Now, those of you joining us for the first time, this hackathon is by ETHGlobal, and our mission is to onboard thousands of developers into the Web3 ecosystem. We do this by running hackathons and summits, both in person and async. And this event is no different. We're kicking off our very first hackathon. We're bringing back HackMoney. This will be the fourth time we're doing HackMoney as a DeFi-focused hackathon. But one of the things that we're excited about is that this is going to be an amazing year for us. We have 5 big in-person hackathons happening this year. We're going to start with ETHGlobal in Cannes, France on April 3rd. Then we have New York as one of our biggest events of the year in June. We're going to go to Lisbon in July, Tokyo in September, and DevCon with ETHGlobal Mumbai in India. And those are just the in-person events. We have online and async hackathons in between. And one of the things that we as ETHGlobal are excited about the most is ETHCon. This is going to be the biggest Ethereum event in the US, taking place in New York this June from 8th to 10th, just before the hackathon. And we want to see all of you in New York with us in just 4 months. So we're looking forward to seeing a lot of you in person. But quick reminder is that this is a big conference and we are in the middle of getting ready for everything. We have an early bird price for the tickets. It ends in 24 hours. So if you're interested in being in New York at the hackathon and at the conference, today is your chance to get the cheapest price for your tickets. Now, with that, let's get started with HackMoney. The goal here for this session is for me to cover some of the basics about how this hackathon is set up and how you can take advantage of the next 1.5 weeks. We have over 1,200 hackers from almost 80 countries spanning 24 unique time zones. People are here from literally all of the world, 6 continents. You can kind of see where everybody's coming from. And the best part is they're all excited about DeFi, payments, stablecoins, and everything in between. We get to meet all of you on Discord, and we get to meet all of you in person over the next few months at our in-person events. So we're excited to welcome all of you here. And what I want to focus on is how everything is going to be set up and you can take best advantage of this. This is a hackathon, which means that we will be rewarding some amazing projects with prizes. We have $75,000 in prizes that we're going to be giving away. And it's thanks to 6 incredible sponsors. I want to thank ARC, ENS, LeFi, SUI, and Uniswap Foundation, as well as Yellow, for helping make this hackathon possible. They all are doing prizes for different categories where you get to win their prizes for a really well-defined integration. That's what we're going to talk about in a second. But the key things I want to tell all of you is that there is a schedule to the next 10 days. So I want to focus on how you can take advantage of this event. I want to focus on how communication works, how you can form a team, how you can get help, everything about prizes, everything about how judging and submission works, which is the most important piece, and we'll kind of get right into it. So everything is going to be happening through Discord. This is an async event, which means that people are going to be here on different time zones and up at all times of the day. Everything we're going to be doing is going to be on Discord, which means you get to keep up with all the important information from us directly in these channels. Discord is managed directly from your Hacker dashboard, which means that the second you are confirmed and RSVP'd, you get to press the Connect Discord button and we'll manage all the permissions. And if you see the HackMoney 2026 header on your Discord sidebar, that means you have all the right permissions, and this will be only accessible to people who are in just this hackathon. So you get to meet all the other 1,199 people who are working and hacking with you, including all of our mentors and all of our partners. This is where you can get help and everything in between. If you're not already on Discord, you can just head over to ethglobal.com/Discord. Now, a very common question we get is, how does this hackathon work? Officially, the hackathon has kicked off today, which means you can start hacking on your projects as of this message. You can work on your hackathon projects with a team or individually, and you have the next 1.5 weeks to hack. You can have a team of up to 5 people. So you can have anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 people working on submitting a project. You can only be part of one team and have one submission. And you have until the 8th of February to submit your DeFi project. Now, the rules are very simple and straightforward. Everything that you are doing must be done from scratch, which means you cannot add a feature to one of your past projects. You cannot just port something from one chain to another and deploy it and just call that a brand new thing. You have to start from scratch. You have to properly follow Git best practices, which means that we will be able to see if you're branching off of something or if you have commits that are hiding too much that shouldn't be there, bundled across a whole project. So make sure that you are starting fresh. It keeps everything fair. And unless you are RSVP'd, you will not be able to win any prizes, which means that if all of your team members are not RSVP'd and they do not appear on the team section on your dashboard, if you win any prizes, you will not get the team member share of that prize. So please make sure all of your team members show up as confirmed on your dashboard and they are all properly marked as your team members at the time of submissions. We, of course, want to make sure that this is a smooth process where you are able to leverage your time and the best tooling. So you are allowed to use AI as long as you are attributing how you leveraged AI and LLMs or any sort of IDE that's helping you get there properly. This will be part of your submission process, and you have to really tell us exactly where things were used and where we can reference and verify that this was part of your work. And it also has to obviously work. There will be disqualification for doing anything that's mock data and not actually integrated with any of the APIs or SDKs. And of course, these are some of the basic things we want to highlight. There's obviously a lot of questions that we get. So if you have any small questions that we can clarify, feel free to ask them in the chat or let us know, and over email or on Discord, we'll be answering those directly to you. Now, submissions are due on the 8th at 12 p.m. Eastern, which means this about the same time. And all this happens on your Hacker dashboard. The rules for submitting a good project are as follows. You have to make a 4-minute demo video, which means it has to be a measured 4-minute video that talks about who you are, what you built, shows a proper demo that's working, and not just a slide deck. This is a video submission-based event. You have to do this thing to qualify to submit a project. And it may sound like a small thing because you only have to make a 4-minute video, but it will take you at least an hour, if not longer, to do this thing. You have to really make sure you're able to come up with a concise way of communicating what you built, why, how it works, and all the things that you're excited to do after. And putting all that together and making sure within the time limit and switching everything properly between you talking, your slides, maybe your demo, all these things will require a bunch of tries and planning. So we recommend that you get started on this as soon as you can. And we also have a lot of good guidelines for you to see as proper reference videos from the past that we think are really good that you can effectively just copy and make it really good for everybody else to understand what you're doing and why you chose to work on this project. You are allowed to edit the video, so you can absolutely record something, use video editing to snip pieces that are more time, such as waiting for a transaction, or pieces that are not as relevant after you've recorded. It doesn't have to be one shot. And after you submit the video, which is part of the project submission, judging will begin. For this hackathon, judging is set up into 2 tracks. There's going to be a finalist judging and partner prize judging. These are 2 separate things, but both of them make you eligible to win any of our prizes from our partners. If you do the prizes for partners and just that, and you just want to do partner judging, you have a asynchronous flow, which we'll talk about in a second. But if you want to be one of the top 10 projects from this hackathon and be one of the most amazing recognized submissions from the 1,200 hackers who are participating, you get to opt in for the finalist judging process, which is 2 rounds. Now, what happens in the finalist judging process is that we review everybody's project, and it has to be eligible for a few set of criteria. A set of judges will watch all of your submissions, and they will filter based off of how well done the project is. Is it live? Does it work? It'll measure your communication on how you're talking about what you did and how succinct you are in making the point get across for why something works and how this is better than the status quo. And they'll be also verifying your GitHub history, which means that we'll be checking everything from the first commit to the last commit and making sure that there was no cheating, everybody followed proper guidelines, all team members contributed, and the people who contributed are the ones actually verified on your team members, because authenticating with GitHub is part of the submission process. If you pass through the first round, which is asynchronous, you'll be notified within 24 hours of the submission deadline to be ready for the live judging, which is round 2. And this is a Zoom call that you'll be joining as a team, which will be a subset of the teams who come in and live demo what they built. And our judges, who are founders of different protocols in this space, will be asking you questions live on this call and helping choose who are the best submissions and the top 10 teams from this hackathon. That Zoom call is going to be at the same time for everybody, which is 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So you really have to make sure that you are available at this time, especially as you're in a different time zone, to be there to actually be one of the top 10 teams. If you are not part of this round 2, you also get disqualified for the finalist track. If you don't want to be one of the top 10 projects and you want to just qualify for our partner prizes, you get to do that in the submission flow and just pick the partner prize judging. There, none of this requires an asynchronous call. All the judges will get all the information about your projects, and they will review your video and your project submission page to decide what is the best project for their category and for their SDK. If they have any questions that they want to clarify from you, they will ask you directly. They will reach out to you, whether it's over email or Discord. And what this means is that as soon as you select a partner that you want to qualify for a prize for, they will be able to see your submission from the showcase page. And the more detailed your submission is, the better your chances are to stand out and really communicate how well you're integrating someone's API or protocol. So this means make sure you spend a good amount of time writing out the right details, putting in really well done screenshots, making a good video that communicates clearly how something works and why you chose to work on it. And all that happens as part of the submission process. So once you're pressing the submit button, everything is all set. And having done this thing for tens of thousands of projects, the key advice that we give to everybody is that make the video good. The better your 4-minute video is, the better your odds of really communicating how your work stands out and how this can change something that is already inefficient or cumbersome or just not as good as the status quo. So spend as much time as you can on making your video submission really, really well done, and everything else is part of the submission process. Now, you may ask, why would I want to be one of these 2 tracks, and what's the benefit of one over the other? Well, the benefit of being a finalist is that we're going to pick 10 teams who are the best 10 projects in DeFi from this hackathon. And these teams get to go on the live stream when this event ends and showcase what they built to everybody, and they get additional prizes on top of any partner prizes from us. And one of the things that you get is the ETHGlobal HackMoney finalist pack, which is an on-chain NFT that comes with a handful of perks. These perks are ETHGlobal Plus access for 1 year. You get a $500 flight credit to meet us at any in-person event this year. So we will fly you to any of the hackathons we're doing from earlier today and anything on our website. And you get to hack with us. And we give you an on-chain proof of being a finalist, which gets to be used for a lot of cases where you have anywhere from whitelist access to different protocols to just bragging rights to talk to others about how good of a developer you are. We also host a lot of events in person with different founders in this space, and you get to ask them questions and do something off the record and really get advice. And there's $50,000 in developer credits that you get to claim, such as AWS and RPC and things in between, to simplify your developer journey to build something from 0 to 1. And the qualifications here to be a finalist is that your project must be from scratch. It must have an auditable repository. So we are really going to verify that GitHub and Git practices are being used. It needs to be open source and deployed and live. So you can't just have something that's only running on localhost. We should be able to click on a website, even if it's a Vercel app and not a proper domain, to play with it and see how everything is set up. And the last piece being the most important one, which is you have to be there on the Zoom call for the second stage of the live judging to be able to answer the questions of our judges directly in real time. And one of the things here as one of our goals is to make these events a way for everybody to really understand how building with smart contracts works. So you'll have people who are super experienced or super new, and it is totally okay. We want you to be here no matter how much experience you have with smart contracts or DeFi or just building in Web3. And that's why there's a lot of talks, workshops, and content for everybody, not only for just this event, but we have thousands of videos on how to use every protocol, every tool, and every SDK on our YouTube channel. So everything that we have is accessible to you on demand, and any workshop that happens as part of HackMoney will be made available for you to watch on demand immediately after it ends. And you can see all of that on youtube.com/ETHGlobal. And also, because we're at the beginning of this event, there's still a lot of you who are looking for other team members. There's a lot of you who are looking for others to join their team, where you want somebody who has a particular set of skills. All that is still possible if you head over to find a team channel on Discord. You can describe what you're looking for or what you're able to do. And if somebody's looking to add you to your team or join your team, you can have this chat, and there might be other calls, live Zoom calls, where we can match different team members together, and all of that is on the schedule. And of course, there's over 1,000 of you from all parts of the world. Do come to the HackMoney 2026 chat channel and say hi, introduce yourselves. We'd love to meet wherever you are joining us from in the world, and make sure that we get to see some of you in person over the rest of this year. And of course, it is not a requirement to work on a team. You can absolutely take on a challenge and do something by yourself. We just recommend that you do work with somebody else, because it simplifies a lot of things and you get to learn different parts of the event and in your project, and really work on making something super refined instead of being stressed out by doing everything yourself. So do try to find somebody you can work with, but it's totally okay to hack solo. Now, one other thing we also want to talk about is that because this is a 1.5 week event, we want to introduce a notion of a check-in. These check-ins will happen twice next week, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and this really helps us get the help to you if you're stuck on something. And that means if you're not sure what you want to do, we can still talk to you. We can help you brainstorm some ideas. If you are waiting for a mentor or a partner to reply back to a question of yours because you're not sure if something is really possible with that protocol, we can help connect you or encourage them to reply faster or message them directly to help any of your clarifications be addressed. And this helps us make sure that you're never blocked, and these are required, so your stake will be returned if you finish both of these check-ins. It's kind of a simple survey stand-up type of form. It should take less than 5 minutes to fill this out, and only one person from your team has to do this thing. So if one person does it for your project, it meets the criteria, so all of you should be good. Not everybody has to fill this out on your team, and all this happens on your dashboard. We'll be giving you reminders over email and on Discord. And not only that, we also want to make sure there's opportunities for you to show off what you've been building live to some of our mentors, some of our judges, and the global team. So there's going to be 2 sessions next week, one on Tuesday from 2 to 4 o'clock Eastern, and another one on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, where you can come on this as a Zoom call, share your screen, get some feedback, get your questions answered real time, and really use as an opportunity to help make your project even better. And lastly, we want to talk about the code of conduct. So everything about this event, including the rules for qualifying for a prize and how everything else works, is listed on ethglobal.com/rules. And the gist of it is that please be respectful to everybody at this event. Our standard rules for behaving in person or online as part of our community apply here, which means that any sort of harassment or abuse will not be tolerated, and you'll be banned and kicked out of the event and our community. And the other piece here is that anything that you build as part of the hackathon is going to be solely all owned by you and the rest of your team equally, which means that neither any of our partners, sponsors, mentors, or the ETHGlobal team has any rights to your work, but everybody on your team has equal rights to your project. So you are welcome to do whatever you'd like, and nobody else has any given rights to make something out of your work or take it from how it's defined. And of course, these are just kind of the basics. So there's a lot of things that we haven't addressed. So if you have any other questions, you can just ask those to us directly, and we'll be able to get them answered for you quickly. To keep things very simple, we're making this as accessible as possible. So the schedule, the judging information, how the hacker dashboard works, who the mentors are, who the judges are, all these things are on the website. You can just head over to ethglobal.com/hackmoney to get there quickly. And I also want to talk about prizes quickly. So our partners are giving out amazing prizes. Yellow is going to be giving up to $15,000 in prizes. ARC, SUI, and Uniswap Foundation are giving $10,000 in prizes each. And ENS and Lead.fi are giving up to $6,000 in prizes each. So you get to learn about all their prizes also on the website, where you can see specifically what qualifies, what doesn't, all the subcategories, as well as sample repos and things that you can just use directly, from tutorials to repos you can clone, to documentation, to links for what is a good project and some ideas. All that is available for you on the prizes page to really understand how you can take advantage of the resources that have been done for you, so you don't have to do everything from scratch. And just some final advice before we kick this off and let all of you get back to hacking. Please pace yourself. The reason why these events are almost 2 weeks long is because we want to make sure that you have enough time to really understand, ask questions, iterate, and work on a schedule that is more comfortable to actually help you stay excited and keep improving things multiple times before submissions are due. We don't want this to be exhausting for you. You should not be working on this every night sleeplessly to get something done. Take your time. We really want you to have fun. We want you to learn something new. And very much these events are about understanding how something can be used, especially as all of our incredible partners are working on brand new protocols and SDKs to simplify your experience and help you get from your idea from just an idea to reality. So any feedback that you give helps you make the rest of the ecosystem better, and you get to learn how something works from scratch. So that's everything we wanted to communicate about the HackMoney Hackathon 2026. We will see all of you on Discord, and we want to wish all of you happy hacking. Feel free to message us for any questions, whether it's by email or Discord or anywhere else, or by the live stream chat, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So with that, we'll see you all on Discord, and we'll resume everything with our workshops and sessions next week. So thanks for joining, and take care, everybody. In the meantime, enjoy some lo-fi beats.